what's up, you guys? My name is Cybertron, and welcome to the final episode of Transformers Fall of Cybertron. In the last episode, we played the best level as Grimlock and destroyed everything. In this episode, we are back, basically at the first prologue, and we need to. We need to basically play the events that were coming up to that point. I found out that I've apparently been equipped with this. I do not want this thing. I will take... Yeah, I'll do the Scrap Maker. Do I have enough for an upgrade? No. Okay. Technically, though, the last upgrade that I did...
I'll start dispatching the boarding parties.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, what?
Yes, sir. Sir?
That's
Sir.
Those Autobots won't
Well, it's
know
kind of cool
what
that we get to see a couple of the
Megatron
cons.
Nemesis designed for maximum carnage.
Yes, sir. Sir.
Okay, how do I get... Yeah, over there it is.
Cannon fire jammed the door release. You got any ideas, Soundwave?
Rumble. Stand by for ejection. Rumble. Eject.
I thought you'd never rest, Soundwave.
Return. Well, it's a good thing we don't require oxygen to breathe. Launch the cable. Whee! Now I have to launch laser beak.
Laser beam. Eject. Hard entrance.
Decepticons have breached the ship!
Autobots, on your right!
Decepticons nearby!
Good job, little dude.
Pay attention, Soundwave. You're being attacked from both sides.
Yes, Lord Megatron. Okay. No, why did I get the intercom? Okay, go.
Excellent laser beam. Access acquired.
Come on, take him. There we go.
Return.
Oh, jeez. I did not do very good.
Rumble. Eject.
Let's rumble!
Return. Soundwave, the Ark's defensive cannons are taking their toll. Destroy them! Yes, Lord Megatron.
Okay, I need...
Sniper threat acknowledged. Soundwave, use laser beam to destroy those Autobots!
Okay, both of you. Help me. Okay, I need to get some power, but I saw that there's some energy on here. Yep, there we go. There we go. Way to go, my dudes.
Return.
Press you this.
Soundwave, hurry up and get those guns offline! Energon silos located. Initiating sabotage. Affirmative. One cannon has fallen silent. Rumble. Eject.
Get ready to rumble! Before...
Okay, I can maybe. Sorry, I'm not talking too much. I'm trying to concentrate and not to die so much. Good work, boys.
They're trying to cut off our air defenses!
Fuck. Just kinda figured that was gonna happen. Yes, there we go. Great work, boys. There we go. That went so much better. Alright, cannons offline.
Excellent, Soundwave. Decepticons, all attack groups cleared to traverse cables.
This
All flyers and aerial bots to launch bays. Sever those tow cables. We're being overrun.
I still don't know if that was like before or after Bubbles spin.
Let's turn it burn! Pound the armor, and the outer skin will shatter. Trying to keep it up?
Right, I remember this. This is my second favorite level.
Now destroy it.
Oh, there it is!
Jetfire, this is a zero-G environment. Try using your rocket launcher in robot form.
Thanks, Optimus. But I really love this because like we get some story progresses that like gives us the opportunity to play as both the bots and the cons throughout the rest of this.
There, another weak point. Destroy it. Nice work, Jetfire. You're stemming the tide.
Thank you, Optimus.
Jetfire, be mindful of the sentry guns. They'll eat you alive if you're not careful.
I want to do the awesome thing. You can find a weak point. I think it's like somewhere over. I want to do this. Get close enough. Boom! There we go. That takes care of all the cables.
Cables are severed, Optimus. We needn't worry about any more Decepticons crashing.
Not to worry about it anymore. And yet, the massive tank charges in. Well, the Megazord. Sweet, it works. I never knew why. Maybe because I got it from GameStop. But I remember when I first played this game on the 360. For some reason, the game would freeze at this particular moment, and I would have to like get the game, like unplug the game of the game, and like clean the disc, and it would work fine. Right, I have a shockwave. I'm gonna be here all day.
I love the sound of Autobots crunching under my feet.
Hit him with something that will slow him down! Like what? The starship? Just keep firing! The bigger they are, the harder!
The harder they hit.
He's not wrong. That was not what I wanted. Oh my god. It'd be kind of cool if there were like an Autobot version of Bruticus in the game and have the two Titan class Transformers battle one another.
This isn't even fair.
Autobots! Bruticus is targeting our fuel tanks! Copy, Jetfire. Jazz is in play.
Yeah, Jazz.
Whose butt do I kick?
Whose butt do I kick? Gotta do it in style, man. Man.
Well, hello there.
Man, Jazz is so cool. Oh, cool. He was my favorite in the first Transformers movie. I'm still sad to this day of, like, we lost a great man.
What hope do we have against that thing?
Here, I'll take this.
Go, Jetfire. My spark is finished.
Keep your focus, soldier. We'll get through this.
Oh, God.
Jazz, I need to find Ratchet. When I return, I can back you up with an airstrike.
Don't keep me waiting long, Flyboy. Wiped out the whole platoon with one punch. It's Jazz.
He didn't have legs.
Chance now.
Hey, Goliath.
Well, you are even uglier up close.
The little Autobot wants to play.
When the shields go down, the grapple comes out. Rockets in the air.
Oh man, must have hit a techno nerve.
You can't run from this.
Look out! Incoming! Yeah, you're not so tough without your shields, huh? Take this, big guy!
Nobody does that to me. You're really starting to boil my oil.
You don't think I'm coming near that, do you?
No problem. It slices and dices. But wait, there's more.
That shield's a handful. Jetfire! If you're done playing nursemaid, I sure could use your help. Already
Yeah, man.
Lure him to this EMP mine and keep him there.
Thanks.
We'll take care of the rest.
Thanks, buddy. Come on, dude. Come to me.
Good. Now keep him there. You did it! Ordnance inbound.
You're really starting to fly like it.
One EMP mine coming up. Good. Now keep him there. You did it! Ordnance inbound.
Okay, so I don't need to fire at a specific spot, but I do need to be careful of the leapers.
I actually felt that.
One EMP mine coming up.
Come on, dude. Come to me.
There. Now go for the legs.
Bring the fireworks. Nice, Jetfire. Nice. That comes full circle.
This ought to do the job.
Even if you destroy me, Megatron, others will rise to defeat your tyranny.
Then I'll just have to destroy you all.
Me.
Bumblebee! What a waste of energon!
After eons of conflict, I finally see the truth of your words, Megatron.
And what might that be, Optimus?
This universe, no matter how vast, will never be big enough for you and I to coexist.
Like when push comes to shove, Optimus knows when to fight it. And yeah, this is the coolest part. We now get to choose which we want to pick. The ending is gonna be exactly the same, but this is like, who do you want to be? And I gotta go with my man. Let's do this, Prime!
No one can stop me! Not bad for a librarian. Perhaps you should have spent more time in the pit.
And perhaps you should have spent more time in the library.
There we go. Yes! Yes! Take him down! And I like that we now switch to, like, swordplay. And just get to beat the shit out of him. Yeah! And the ship is being destroyed around us.
Call yourself a crime. You were a records clerk when I found you. You will be dust when I'm through with you.
You're gonna talk or fight, Megatron.
Oh, right, I can't transform. Oh, I apparently did enough damage to finally beat him. Okay, there we go. Do this a second time. Man, this is one of my favorite fights because of like how brutal it can be. Like he implanted the sword into his arm and is now slamming him in the ground.
This ends now.
This ends when I say it ends.
And the dialogue is awesome as well. Ooh, gotcha! It just impales right in. Complete chapter 13 as Optimus.
The vortex is tearing the ship apart. No! I will not be denied.
Sorry, dude. This is how it ends. It's so awesome. And that just leads to the rest of the Transformer story. By High Moon Studios. Nice.
Till all are one.
Okay, so I just had to edit out the rest of the credits. Like, I was originally gonna at least show them. There would have been no sound, but for some reason my Stream Deck isn't able to like mute the game sound itself. So I'll have to fix that after this. But to give overall thoughts on this, having not touched this game in, God, I can't even remember how long it was. Like 6 years ago, like for 6 years, 8 years. It's been a very, very, very long time since I really played the game. And it is still one of the best games I've played. Like I mentioned, like I said in the first episode, this was the first ever Xbox 360 game I had ever played, and it was my absolute favorite. I fucking loved playing it so much. Like this is one of the few games where like I actively would like try to do everything into it, like get all the upgrades, get all of the cosmetics. Well, not really get the cosmetics because I didn't have Xbox Live back then, and so I wasn't able to get any of like the online trophies that were required, and they are still on like the achievement list, but because the servers are shut down, I don't think I could even get any of them. So the multiplayer aspect of it, with like multiplayer and escalation, it's kind of a bum that we're not able to play those nowadays. But the campaign itself is still very much good. Like, I had so much fun, like, trying it. It gave me a lot of nostalgia of going through it, and just playing through it and having fun. It was overall just really, really enjoyable. And I'm glad that I did it. It's like, this wasn't like a planned series that I wanted to do. This was like one of those games that I genuinely wanted to do it, and I'm glad I did. I really enjoyed it. really enjoyed the game. So and now this doesn't mean that the game is like perfect, of like, oh, it's completely flawless. There are some stuff like some minor problems that I really encountered in this one. Like, there were lots of moments where it was like lag, for where like the game froze for a bit. Some textures and other objects glitched, like when I was Starscream and the crown just glitched into my torso. I remember when I was playing on it on the 360, there were some times where like some holograms wouldn't fully process, for where like Optimus was like completely gone in the scenes when he was talking to Grimlock, and there was like no audio, like not just no hologram, but there wasn't even any audio in it, so I wasn't even talking to a person. And there was a 1.4 Shockwave was upside down for some reason. I have no idea how that happened. And there were also a couple of minor glitches, and actually in this one, when I first played it on Steam, where I transformed as Bumblebee, and there was like a texture glitch for where like he was like stuck mid transformation before it caught up and transformed. So again, a few minor stuff here and there. Story wise, I do like the idea that this centers around Cybertron, because whenever we see the Transformers story, it always like first starts off of like the aftermath of the war. Of like the war of Cybertron, the escape, and then they're like on Earth. But I like that this game and War for Cybertron, they center around the Transformers on Cybertron itself, which I really like. It gives us like a different perspective on like the lore on the lore with Cybertron. Speaking of the lore, a big complaint that I really have, and it's mostly on confusion. Apparently, this is part of the aligned continuity, which, if you don't know, is basically a bunch of Transformers and Transformers ideas, like Transformers Prime, Robots in Disguise, the Cybertron series, and the comic books that are based off of Cybertron, are all merged together as one. And it's I probably would have to dig more into it, but it's basically a collaborative mess that you don't know entirely, like, what the fuck is going on. Of, like, what's supposed to be canon, what's supposed to be not. Because a lot of it because if it's all supposed to be canon, then a lot of it is very much, like, contradicting itself. Like, Grimlock's appearance in Robots in Disguise. How the Insecticons were, like, introduced in Transformers Prime versus how they were introduced in Cybertron. On how Shockwave correlates with that. And so that, again, there's just a lot of confusion that I feel like I would have to read more into the comics, or just get like a full breakdown of like what's canon and what's not. Because otherwise it's super confusing. It doesn't make any sense. And overall, like, I guess like another thing about it is that I'm kind of bummed that this was technically the last Transformers game that we were able to play. Technically, another game called Rise of the Darkspark is part of it, but it honestly isn't really. It sort of falls back into the line continuity, for where it has some stuff that's canon, but otherwise it's just really, really not. It's more of a Transformers Age of Extinction game with the Fall of Cybertron skins attached to them, especially how they did with Megatron, because the story in that one was something of like the Darkspark being this ancient artifact that would be like, that was supposed to be like the opposite of the Matrix. And they had like snippets where like you're on Cybertron and you're playing, I guess, like with the Autobots before the whole fiasco, like before this campaign. However, a lot of this stuff doesn't really make all that much sense, especially when they were using Megatron. It's literally, they used the Fall of Cybertron skin and not the War for Cybertron skin, or Cybertron skin, like we were introduced to in this one. Which I do like how with this game, they first had Megatron in his War for Cybertron outfit, and then like after his death, he was rebooted into the Fall of Cybertron, which I love that, because it has like, that's like, it's him reborn, and it's not him as the exact same body, it's just him in a brand new one. With Rise of the Darkspark, however, and not only has with that, but it also basically just reskins and recontrols with a lot of the mechanics from this game, including the attack style, how they have for their Grimlock. And that way you can transform into dinosaur and robot mode as much as you want. However, However, the biggest problem with that is that his attack style is literally the same, but the weapon he wields is not built for that attack style. So again, it just falls back into the line of like, it was an idea, but it was not executed properly. And honestly, that game was not very good. Good. But since we're on the subject of the games, I only played it a few times, but War for Cybertron was equally as amazing. Like the first game before this. The environment was really, really cool. Cool. It did an awesome introduction to the Autobots and the Decepticons, and also did a pretty equal balance between the two. I think there's like 10 chapters, and you play as like 5 campaigns, or maybe there's 6. Okay, so in each one. But either way, you play, and you get to play as a group. Get to play as both Decepticon and Autobots. But unlike War for Cybertron has this mechanic where you're given 3 characters, and you can alternate between like which ones you want to play as throughout each of the campaigns, which is awesome. So, it definitely would be a bum if like the servers on that one, for at least the online multiplayer stuff, that would make sense. But if the campaign servers are still intact for like, or like you can like call up your buddies and be like, hey, you want to play Transformers? I'd be like, yeah, let's do it. Like get a group of friends and just play on that game. It still would be awesome. Awesome. And there's not exactly different perspectives of it, but it's really cool to get like the different get to play as like different characters. And I think in also that one they have access to the other characters like RC, Blitzscream, I think is what her name is, but the female version of Starscream, I believe. But it taps into like more of the characters, more of the lore, and it's very good. And I also love that it also holds up a little bit more to sort of like the overall canon story for it. Even though this is a different version, it's still telling the proper story. The war on the civil war on Cybertron, the whole evacuation with the Autobots and Decepticons, and then flying off into space and arriving on Earth, and the fight continues on from there. Even though like the chances of I don't remember is High Moon still around? I'd honestly have to look into it, but I don't think High Moon can make another Transformers game. And on one hand, like I'm fine with this game because like we know how the story goes. And the story goes like the fight continues on to Earth, and if this would line up to the Generation 1 storyline, then that would just follow on from there. However, I would have loved to have seen a proper third installment. Unlike Rise of the Darkspark, a proper third installment of this game series. It would be something like maybe like it would just move on, like taking a fight to Earth and continue on to fight over there, or maybe it would be like years later. Yeah, years later, they're able to go back to Cybertron and fully restore the planet. Call it something like Rise of Cybertron or Return to Cybertron. It would have been a cool mechanic. But apart from that, and apart from some of the other stuff that I said, I love this game. It's still an awesome game. It's my favorite Transformers game to date. And it was just so much fun to play. I think I might be able to do like some custom minifigures of them. Of Transformers, but for now my focus is primarily on the Bendy and the Drug Revival, as well as the God of War Ragnarok project, which that has been coming along very, very great. I think I just finished the skeleton for Jormungandr, and now I need to finish up the rest of the body for him, so he'll be good to go. With Dark Revival, I'm still keeping up at my progress as much as I can, and I still need to get to filming for the Halo Reach showcase, but that will be up soon. And overall, that concludes Transformers Fall of Cybertron. I hope you guys enjoyed this series. It was fun. It was so much fun to play. And if you guys want to play this game, it's unfortunately not directly available in the Steam store, but you can purchase like a download code off of Amazon, as well as like the DLC. I'm not sure how much of the DLC we'll be able to access, since most of it is for the multiplayer and the escalation missions. But if you do want to play this game and you're willing to spend like $50, I think is how the code was. If you're willing to spend that much and you want to experience Fall of Cybertron, I highly recommend it. I don't know if I'll do War for Cybertron in the future. If I do get the game, maybe I'll probably do it in my free time. But overall, that's going to be it. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to work on the showcases. Again, I'll let you guys know in the future, like, how the progress goes on that. I'm not sure what the next Let's Play series will be. Maybe I'll go back to the PS5 to at least finish Sonic Frontiers for Twitch. Twitch. Maybe I'll do Spider-Man. Maybe I'll do Spider-Man Remastered for PS5. PS5. As sort of like a build-up to Spider-Man 2. That's definitely going to be a series on the channel in the future. But that is going to be out to wait for now. Now, if you guys would like to see more videos like this in the future, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for notifications. It really helps us work on this, like a products, every man, they had some fun. So overall, thank you guys so much for watching this series. If you liked it, hit that like button, comment below what you think, share your friends, subscribe to YouTube, follow me on Twitch. And here's a hell with the road. Woo! Woo! Thank you guys, I'll see you next time. What do you guys, Smooth Rises?